She believed she still held control. A casual night out, a new date, and a warning that she'd call the police if I didn't do as she said, as if fear could still dictate my choices. I knew her too well by now. Manipulation had always been her weapon of choice, cloaked in emotion, wrapped in drama. But that night, I wasn't playing her game. I refused to feed the chaos she thrived on. Once, we had built a life together. Small rituals that felt like home. Laughter over takeout dinners. The little notes she'd slip into my bag. The way I could read her moods before she spoke. But all of that was meaningless now. She wanted something different. Attention, control, validation. And she was willing to cross any line to get it. When she stormed out, threats hanging in the air like storm clouds, I simply let the door close behind her. No shouting, no reaction, just silence, and a calm I refused to surrender. I could sense the storm she intended to create, but I also felt something else, clarity. This was her decision, her behavior, her consequence. I sat down, steadied my breath, and let the tension drain from my body. There was no need to argue, no need to prove anything. My peace was mine to protect. My space, my rules, my calm, untouched. Outside, the city moved on, indifferent. Inside, I realized her threats had lost their power. They no longer reached me. Karma, I thought, has its own timing. It doesn't need my help. It simply arrives, quietly restoring balance. By morning, her outburst was nothing more than a faint echo in the stillness of my apartment. I brewed coffee, let it sit for a moment, and watched the steam curl into the air, a small reminder that peace still existed here. I didn't check my phone. I didn't replay her words. Her attempt at intimidation had already begun to collapse under its own weight. She had underestimated something simple. I no longer gave her power over my peace. A few days later, mutual friends mentioned her night out. Fragments reached me. Laughter turned into argument. Someone stepping in to pull her away from the trouble she'd stirred herself. Subtle but clear. The same energy she once used to provoke me had turned on her, unfolding quietly, predictably. I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I just listened, detached, observing. Karma didn't need my intervention. It was already at work. Life went on. I went on. Her actions had become her consequences. And in that silence, I found something I hadn't felt in weeks, relief. Relief that I hadn't reacted. Relief that I'd held on to control. Relief that my calm had stayed intact despite her chaos. It's remarkable how a single act of stillness can change an entire story. She wanted fear. She wanted a fight. She wanted chaos. But she found none. And in that void, truth revealed itself. You can't shake integrity with manipulation. The harder she pushed, the more her own plans unraveled. Each move she made backfired, leaving me untouched, quietly watching the balance she disrupted restore itself. Days later, her final attempt fell apart. Without me doing a thing, I heard whispers. She'd gone too far, lost favor, and faced the backlash she once tried to unleash on me. No confrontation, no revenge, no drama from my end, just a quiet unfolding of consequence. It wasn't loud. It wasn't visible to most. But to me, it was absolute. Karma had done what anger never could. That afternoon, I walked through the city, sunlight spilling over the pavement. And for the first time in weeks, I felt the tension dissolve completely. The streets moved with their usual rhythm, indifferent to her schemes, indifferent to her threats. And in that indifference, I found freedom. Not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that comes from knowing you stood firm while everything meant to shake you fell apart on its own. People often mistake chaos for power. She did. She believed fear could control me, that emotion could bend me, that threats could define my choices. But true control doesn't live in reaction. It lives in restraint. That's where strength is born, in patience, in calm, in quiet dignity. When evening came, I returned home, closed the door, and felt no anger, no regret, only stillness. The message was clear. Those who manipulate, who threaten, who provoke, eventually face the balance life delivers all on its own. My path stayed steady. My peace remained whole. The balance was restored. Some lessons don't need interference. Some victories don't need noise. The quiet ones, the unseen ones, are often the most complete.